and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is approval of the April 3rd business session minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, public comments.
Good evening. Where do I hang out, right?
Within shout distance.
I can shout really loud, it's fine. I'm Stacy Waller with the Port Osage School District. Is there any other information you need from me?
Your address?
Yes, 26209 East Blue Mills Road, and it's Sibley, 64088. So what I'm here to ask about is, I'm the food service director, and we offer a summer meals program that is free to all students 18 and under. They don't have to be students, anyone 18 or under. We also offer this program through the district for any folks that are disabled, that are over the age of 18, they're able to participate in our program as well. Currently, we have a summer feeding program in, probably 8 to 10 sites around our district, one of which is the church here in town. We do offer summer meals there for free. Well, this last year, we were able as a district to purchase a food truck. And I don't know if any of you saw that on Facebook, we're pretty proud of it, but it is a food truck that the state funded with the knowledge of the main goal for this is to expand our summer meals program and our after school meals program. After that, it can do other activities such as the Buckner Festival. We plan on being here representing Campus Grounds Coffee Shop. I've been approached by Tammy Sue possibly down the line to see if we can partner with some food truck activities as well. What I'm wanting to explore is a possibility of bringing this food truck to your new water park for about a 30 to 45 minute time frame every Monday through Friday from around June 23rd to August 8th. We're targeting 3 different sites for this truck, which will give us the ability to feed more children that can't reach one of our sites, can't walk to that. For instance, we have Hawthorne Apartments that for the last, this is my 9th year. Every year we've done this, we feed kiddos inside of the gym at Hawthorne Place. The food truck is gonna allow us to expand that to north of 24 Highway, and there's 200 units there, and they've already given us approval to have the food truck there as well. What we're wanting to explore is the possibility of bringing this food truck and setting up shop somewhere around the pavilion area. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm assuming that address is one address, and that would be approved by the state for me to sit anywhere. The truck will have 2 folks on it. It is completely free. The meal will consist of the same requirements that we have during the school. It'll have to be an entree, a vegetable, a fruit, and a milk product as well. The biggest requirement of the program is the kids have to eat it on site. I know that there are the pavilions, benches out there, but we also have equipped this food truck with very lightweight foldable tables and benches that we can pull up and basically set up shop. Safety-wise, if this is something that the group would entertain, we're actually going to get some stanchions that we could kind of cordon off a little bit, an eating area with these benches and tables. If we're able to use the pavilions, we wouldn't need to do so. I'm hoping that if this is of interest, the state will approve it. There's real strict requirements about space in between sites, and the fact that we do operate at the church. We're probably less than, I believe it's 3 or 4 miles in between sites to get approved. But what's working to our favor is we don't want kids to walk across 24 Highway. So realistically, north of 24 and south of 24, I think are totally approvable by the state once I go over the logistics of how this is set up. The food that we serve, the truck is equipped with a warmer, a freezer, a cooler. We're not going to be cooking on the vehicle, so there's no exhaust fumes, there's nothing like that. We're gonna cook, prep at probably Claremont or possibly Buckner here as well, load it and basically deliver, transport, and serve food. I know that when it comes to a few park situations, I could see us, if need be, taking most of the trash with us. I know that that is a possibility. That could be a problem depending on how many kids come. Other than that, that's pretty much what the program is. We have to have a set time every day. We're thinking at both of these sites, maybe 45 minutes, just to kind of be there. It would be advertised, flyers, all those types of things. We would do all the advertisement for. We're
Does
hoping.
it have a mechanism for trash disposal?
No.
Okay.
Now, and what we normally serve, what the plan is styrofoam plates is what the plan is. And then you're of course gonna have, if we bring apple slices, you're gonna have the packaging from that, the wrap from the cheeseburgers. So there's gonna be some trash. And my thought process is if this is of interest, I probably would make this our later stop for the day. We'd probably go to Hawthorne first and then here. We're also looking at a couple neighborhood pools that are possibilities as well. We might squeeze in the middle. But the thought would be to end here. So I'm guessing, gosh, maybe 12:15 to 1 we would serve, and then we would just head over to the school and unload and get it ready for the next day. Haven't really worked out all those details yet. I reached out to somebody last night and was talking to Raquel. She was the contact I was given through one of my managers, and just asked a few questions about the possibility, and here I am tonight. So I didn't know this meeting was going on. So I don't know if it's something that is of interest. There is one form, state form, that somebody at the city would have to sign. Basically, it's a site agreement saying that you're authorizing and giving us the okay to basically park on the property. Other than that, I do all the rest. And then work on, like I said, flyers, communications, things like that.
What are you anticipating your volume would look like?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know how many kiddos came on an average basis around lunchtime last year. Do you have those numbers? Any rough idea how many kids are up there?
No, that was,
Yeah.
I was just thinking from a standpoint, and this is, I'm not trying to swing, but just that if it's 2 or 3 kids, it's probably not worth your time, but it's no big deal, but we don't necessarily dump that trash every day. And if we're gonna generate, if it's gonna be 50 or 75, we're in Public Works or somebody's gonna have to go down there every day and dump that trash.
That's it, and we could work on that, on a plan for that together. I don't know what it would look like, but I'm more than happy to work on that. And my philosophy whenever we start a new site is, I'm gonna commit to 2 years if the group wants us to be there. To me, if we feed 5 kids, that's 5 more that might not have eaten. So I'm willing to do that, and give that a
There's a
try.
dumpster there too.
I'm sorry?
There's a dumpster.
Oh, is there? Okay.
So you can just bag it and throw it in the dumpster.
I have absolutely no problem with my teams doing that, because when we're inside of Hawthorne Apartments, we clean that up. McCoy Park, we actually serve in their shelter, and we will help maintain that as well, because, that's also a reflection on us as a school district, so we're gonna try to keep that area maintained. And we kind of have a way that if let's say we get a few rowdy kids, I know there's none here, but if we get a few rowdy kids, we're gonna let them know, don't abuse this, we won't come back. We won't get invited back, don't abuse this program. And we've had to do that at a few of our actual elementary schools. So, if you're interested and we are allowed to give this a try, I would probably need to know semi-soon, because it would be a brand new site and I have to get it approved by the state, which sometimes the state's not as quick as we would like it to be. And they would end up, the health department would end up coming out to check the truck. Again, we're not cooking, they're just gonna check, are we keeping stuff hot? And the food that we would serve is not cold deli sandwiches all the time. It's cheap, it's basically the lunch they get there, the hot entrees.
So you have the necessary permits already then?
We will, we have not permitted the truck yet, but I'm working with Deb Sees at the city. We're waiting on one more thing. We're still learning all the bells and whistles on this toy. And once we're almost ready to have her come out, all we're gonna have to do, it's sitting inside of our warehouse at central office. We just have to have her come out, fire it up, and she just has to prove that the warmer warms and the cooler cools, and we're checking that the water comes, because it has a sink on it, hand sink, actually has a espresso machine, so we can take campus grounds on the road. So, but yeah, all the permits those will be no trouble.
Do you require any external electricity for that?
Nope, runs on a generator. We'll be charging it when we take it back every night. And luckily, once we fire up those warmers, if they're only gonna be running for 2 hours, once the vehicle is running, it pulls from the engine power to help keep the warmer warm and the cooler cool. So there will be no external power. The generator's a little loud. I was surprised, but we had it inside today and we fired it up. I'm like, that's really loud, and I think it's just because we were inside of a garage. Probably won't be as loud when we're outside. There will be signage. We'll just basically have like a big A-frame that'll sit outside with all the legal jargon we have to have that says what the program is, who it's for, and all of that. And then I've got a sign guy working on like one of those real thin flag poles, and we're gonna anchor it to the side of the truck so it will go up a little higher, just to kind of advertise what it's for. People are, why are we here? And that sign will say, free meals, kids 18 or people 18 and under. So that will be on there as well. Other than that, there won't be a lot of signage. It does have a radio on it. It does have a TV on it. So we might play some fun music if that's okay if we do this.
I would say the soonest we could have an answer for you would be May 7th. That's our next meeting.
Okay.
And I need to know, does Raquel, does the park board meet between now and then?
Yes.
Okay, because I think we would also need to sign off from the park board
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And what I think I might do in the interim is I may go ahead and call the state and just have her look at the map on where this site would be. And that might hurry it a little bit on my side. And I may just go ahead and preliminarily apply. And if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. But I'd have some of that legwork started. It gets a little hectic at the end of the school year.
I can imagine. And Joe, then we'd also need to just maybe have Steve review that ordinance just to make sure that if there's anything we need to modify around food trucks, does this qualify as, is it actually a food truck as defined by the ordinance, or is it?
If I remember doing this just downtown,
This is part of
Right,
their.
well, I was thinking that, because there was something peculiar in there, like fire suppression or.
Oh, yeah, they had
Yeah.
Something like that, so just make sure there's no gotchas at the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got fire extinguisher on there, but we're not cooking, so we're
Right,
just
yeah,
holding.
that's why I'm not sure that by the ordinance, I'm not sure it
Exactly.
even qualifies as a food truck.
I'm not sure. We chose to not put any, well, we do have two warmers if we wanted to bring like biscuits and gravy for a teacher event or barbecue pork or something, but we won't physically cook anything. So there's no grill on it, no fire.
It seems like a great opportunity, so I for one think we should definitely go with it.
Anything to do to feed the kids in the summer is really a passion of
Absolutely.
mine, so. Okay, well, let
And
me
we have that
know.
nice spray park up there, so, we get to.
Yeah.
So as long as they're not throwing cheeseburgers on the spray park, we'll be good.
I'm a little bit of a mama bear, so if they don't behave, they're not gonna get our cheeseburgers. They just, they're gonna have to be good kids. So, any other questions? So, who would reach out to me? Would you reach out to me?
Either Joe or myself.
Any of you guys?
Yeah.
You know where to find me.
Yes.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
guys. Uh-huh.
You got her phone number, Raquel?
Yes. I do.
Okay, or email, whichever, okay. You can share with Joe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next up,
We got another one. Oh, yeah.
we have.
Brought a friend this time.
You're on the agenda.
Yeah.
I am, so I can wait. Never mind. I've moved up in the world, sorry.
I missed my paper that I can check.
I can put you on one paper, that's not gonna get us. I'll do it next meeting.
Yeah, let's see here. Next up, I think, is Bill's list.
Yes.
That's it, right? Bill?
We don't have those.
Yeah, it's in that.
Yeah, it's in that,
That
yeah.
last thing on your desk.
Yeah. Shh.
sorry?
I think we jumped over.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we'll get back. Let's think back up. Admin and finance, the current account balances were about in line with where we were last month. The Fund 20 actually is accumulating pretty well. We're at 80,000. We still got that CD sitting out there, so that's good news for the building payment. Also, we need to finance something on that rebid. It's a little bit of a push. Otherwise, nothing remarkable on that front. Health and public health and safety.
We got Margie here
Oh, yeah, okay.
to give the rest of the report.
Okay, if you'd like.
Sure. I was just here to answer questions if you had. I updated the report this month. Like we talked about last month, to provide explanations for any variances that were significantly over budget for expenditures or under budget for revenues. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to look at that or have questions about any of those. Everything is tracking about the same as last month, on track. For those items that where we had purchases this year that were not in the budget, I highlighted those and told you specifically what they were in the report, so that you could see, yeah, we bought this piece of equipment that wasn't budgeted, and that's why, this expenditure line item is over. The second report that I provided this time is to really walk down the cash for everyone, so you can see what our financial reports show, what our outstanding checks are for each of those accounts, and that we reconcile all of the bank statements every month. So those are the reports that you all will receive going forward. If there's other information that you need or would like, I can answer whatever questions you have, and Joe, include those in packets as we move forward.
Anyone have any questions?
Okay,
Well, thank you.
thank you, Mayor.
Park board, or, I'm sorry, back to public health and safety. Chief.
We had a busy month. But you got that in the report. The Easter in the park is this weekend. We've got our school resource officer doing two of them, one at the park and one at, I don't know where, if it's at campus grounds or where it's at, but it's for the school. So he'll be busy playing Easter Bunny or something out there. And I think that's all I got this new. PD report, we were busier than the last couple of months, and especially this last week.
Any observations on how the court we've now had one session? Judge, any observations?
I think the new judge he's much different. It went really well, and I think you'll see a difference in the I don't know if you want to call it revenue, but he doesn't give them 6 years to pay their fines. He's a little more strict when it comes to that. I think you'll see a difference there, but it definitely goes faster. He's pretty efficient.
Next up, park board.
For the agenda or just in general?
Just the general update.
Okay, like you said, we're gonna have Easter in the park on Saturday from 10 to 12. Easter Bunny will be there. We got 5,000 eggs again filled and ready to go. Forecast is not looking great, but we're still planning on doing it. We'll make accommodations. If it rains, we'll figure something out.
Better have an Easter duck.
Planning and zoning. Public works.
We hired a new employee yesterday. He started yesterday. He's a young kid out of Legacy. He's going to be working the street and with the water with Dalton. And, he just needed extra help. His name's Steph, and I can't pronounce his last name, so. But he just started yesterday afternoon, so.
I got a question. I'm not trying to cause trouble. There was some ambiguity at the last meeting. I felt like, did Kyle did leave or what?
Yeah,
what's
Kyle's
the
gone,
status?
and he is gonna, but he's still part-time, gonna come as part-time, because he's gonna be the one doing the water main breaks after hours and on weekends, and that way he can still be covered by insurance, so if he hits a line, there's some kind of damage, it'll be covered by insurance. So he's still technically here, he'd just be part-time as an employee until we get that position totally filled.
Fairs and festivals, I didn't see any fairs and festivals. Okay, no old business, new business, approval of election certification. So I think we've got a couple of winners here.
Once we get approved the results.
So is there, is there a motion to approve the results of the election?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. It's been approved. So now we,
I gave you guys
That's Dan's this.
believing in democracy and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Believing in freedom and democracy throughout the world, allowing increased cooperation between elected officials and other officials locally, nationally, and internationally. I, Rick Morris, do hereby subscribe to the following oath which I affirm as Alderman, to possess all qualifications established by law for the office of Alderman, to support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, to support the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of the fourth class and the ordinances of the city of Buckner, Missouri, to so conduct my public and private life, to be an example to my fellow citizens, to be ever mindful of my neutrality, impartiality, rendering equal service to all, extend the same treatment I wish to receive myself, to faithfully demean myself while in office. These things I, as Alderman, do pledge to do in the interest of the citizens of Buckner, Missouri, which its government has been established.
Thank you, congratulations.
You need to sign, yeah, sign it back to me so I can put it in your folder.
Mayor, we'll give you one more chance if you'd like to re-up.
I'm really super busy this summer.
Here.
Well, we appreciate your service. And
Thank you.
Don't be a stranger. Next up, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the purchasing lamps and sleeves for the UV system.
Yeah, what this is we got several lights that control the UV system, and the sleeves is what goes, the lights go in to protect them. A lot of them, the sleeves itself are discolored, so they gotta be replaced, and then the light bulbs gotta be replaced to get it back up and fully operational. Like I was telling Alderman Norris, they are proprietary equipment, so there's only one place we can get, and that's from Exxon, that's who we bought the system to. So we're getting, looks like 20 lamps and 10 of the sleeves for a total price of $6,475.
And we use those to kill the bacteria.
Yeah, that's what kills the bacteria before it goes out to the creek.
Is there a motion to proceed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like we got about 40,000 in that. Okay, that motion carries. Next up, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding Tammy Crone's request. Tammy, donor Tammy Sue, like a Thursday event.
Yes, hi, I'm Tammy from Tammy Seeds, and this is Cheryl Duncan, the new owners of the Hudson Road, her husband. And so last year you all approved us to do the third Thursdays, and it did take off and grow, which was amazing. And it was a lot of work and preparation, so I now have a buddy, which is fantastic to spread that wealth. And we wanted to see if we could have the opportunity to offer it again this year. You live and learn from the first year. I had high hopes of doing all kinds of big things, but we narrowed it down to make it a little more concise. So we wanted to start in June, so June 19th would be the first third Thursday, run them from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And again, just using that public parking lot, blocking it off for setup. So what we wanted to do was come up with themes each month and have different vendors. We don't charge them to come set up for free for the community. If we can do a treat truck again, is great. The community loved that. Of course, they wanted food trucks, but they at least had a treat truck, so they were happy. And then we have some type of activity. So to give you an idea, June, we talked about doing locally sourced, which would be to have some local makers set up that are in the Kansas City area selling their products. One of my vendors would do some yoga classes that people could participate in yoga outdoors. And then we would have a DJ. The DJ would come again. DJ Green Thumb is willing to come again and play some music, which makes it fun. And then have a treat truck come for that. July 17th, we were looking at the idea of mini incubator, MINI. So we wanted to have kids that were entrepreneurs and crafters and vendors. So I've reached out to Erica Wood at Buckner Elementary to see if she knows of some. I have several that come in my store. I have one young gentleman who is 10 years old that is a vendor in my store. His mom's in my store and his grandma's in my store. So that's pretty cool to have. And then Cheryl is a part of the Mini Cooper Car Club. So we were gonna have the Mini Coopers, staying with the Mini theme. And that was the month that we would like to have the Fort Osage food truck as well, quote, food truck, where they can pass out food and then potentially have either ice cream or coffee from the campus grounds. So trying to keep it all in the mini mode. And then in August, we were wanting to do something like locally grown, where it's a farmer's market. And we haven't really talked about the activity that we would have with that, but I had this great brainstorm today that it'd be kind of fun to do some square dancing. I don't know, we could see, that might be something fun and different to do. You never know what I'm gonna come up with in my sleep. And then a tree truck that month as well. So we're just asking if we could, once again, launch the third Thursdays for June, July, and August, staying within the themes and keeping it to that area. And of course, the tree trucks is the big thing, and probably just one. I tried to do 2 last year, but I think we would stick with 1 to just try to keep it within reason.
Yeah, it seemed like we had good turnouts last year.
Yeah, it grew each month. It really did. And so I was really pleased with that. It was a lot of work to launch. You know, the first time I was trying to do day and evening, and that's just too hard. So keeping it to 5 to 8. But as it progressed, people really liked it, and several people have asked for the year. And Cheryl was nice enough to say, I will help you if you'll do it again. So that's.
So I remember coming down for our meetings, and I was thinking, what in the world's going on? And I forgot, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I know they're not here for this, so.
Right.
But yeah, and we didn't have any issues of any sorts to it.
I didn't hear of any.
Was there any alcohol in these events?
No alcohol involved. No. It's all just community based, and like the last one was based last year on back to school, and Philip Snodgrass, who is the State Farm insurance agent, paid the tree truck for the first 100 people, so they got it for free, which was really cool. So definitely very community oriented, which is what I really try to focus on.
Motion to approve.
I think we
Might as well.
No. Sir?
Do you have a question?
No.
Okay, I was just asking if we needed a motion.
I'd say yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 3 third Thursdays.
Second.
Any other questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then we wanted to throw one more thing out there. And I will let Cheryl talk about this, but we have the idea of Buckner Business Bingo.
Our goal is basically a bingo card, but in order to cross off those squares, they have to visit businesses all over the area. So they would have a design, like at our place we have the floral bench, so you have to come in and take a picture. But it's to get people to travel around the city and to all the businesses in the city to check off those squares.
And then if they get a bingo from the different businesses, we give them a prize. So we were wanting to pick a weekend in June that they had that weekend, you know, like Friday or Thursday through Saturday or whatever, to get their bingo card filled out. And we'll do the legwork of talking to the businesses. Because you know I'm not afraid to talk. Right, Joe?
That sounds like a neat idea. I don't know that we really need to do anything on that.
Yeah, we just wanted to run it by you to let you know what we were doing so you were informed in case somebody would ask.
business will like it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Yeah, there's no outlay cost, and it's not, I mean, if they go into one of the establishments to drink in that establishment, it's not asking for extra outside of that. Okay. Thank you, have a happy Easter.
Thank you.
I do have a question from Miles, I was thinking about the school truck, the wall that heals. How does that over?
Yeah, we'd have to work that out. What I would do is probably talk to our person in DC. I would let her know that this is potentially gonna be going on in the park. If she approves that and says that fits within their boundaries, I don't see a problem with having the food truck up there at noontime, for an hour like that. But I'd wanna be sure that DC approves that, and if not, we would just have to ask her not to do it that week. So,
What dates?
shoot, that was through August 26th.
6/23 through 8/8.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would, she would want to be up there during that time, but we just have to be sure that works with what's going on already. But that's no problem, we'll have a meeting about that.
That just popped in my head.
Yes, thank you.
My cousin was a high school teacher, so he might be interested in helping us with that, teaching
Good.
that too.
Yeah. And next meeting, I want to get on the agenda. We're going to do a little presentation and talk about it a little bit for more awareness.
Okay.
Okay, next up, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the disc golf course.
Well, as you know, we already have the equipment which we purchased last year. We did that just in case the prices would go up with all the craziness going on. So we have all the equipment, now we just need someone to install it. And installing it would include placing the baskets in the ground and cementing them in, and measuring and adding in the cement pads, which they have to grade off and level out and then put the cement in. So we would like to go with Golden Rule. They can start in about another week. And I know they're a little bit higher than the other place. The other place couldn't do it until later on, the date not sure about. So at least we can get in there and get it set up, get it going before we have our fireworks in the park and before the ball gets here.
And then we'd also then need the grading and what have you done. We'd need this. Would Summers also then need to come in after that and do the grading, seeding, mulching, or is that all together?
Yeah,
We'll work together on that where we're sure that one's not messing up the other one, but
right, because two of the placements are up there near the levee, so yeah.
What up is
And you already have a design and a layout, everything all mapped out, where the holes are gonna be,
Yes,
the nets, I don't know what they're
we've got the layout, it's
yeah. They're called holes too, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we already had that, had a gentleman come out and do all the mapping for us that regularly plays.
I think he's designed a couple other courses, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we have that all set up and we're ready to get it in.
It's going to be a 9-hole course, and it looks like that maybe 7 of them is going to be a par 3, and then a couple of them will be a par 4, I believe. But he didn't want to say that until after it was set up, and they could play it through, to kind of see where it lands. But he did play through it the day that she had him come down to set it up and design it. They actually played through it to see how stuff was going to hit. I was impressed with the way that they laid it out. It's pretty cool.
Looks much harder than what
Yeah.
I expected.
Are you gonna charge for the rounds of golf, or is this free?
Only counseling.
Bring your own frisbee in the way.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And then I believe that if we wanted to continue to have that, we'll get an official estimate that on the balance from the park down to the wastewater treatment plant, it'd be somewhere around $2,900, we believe, to get that done.
Right.
Tag that on.
And,
But that would be-
Ken called apologizing, he didn't get that to Joe, that information, but we'll be sure and get that to him. But I wanted you all to at least be aware of it and see it, because if you all approve it, whenever he goes to do the park levy, he can do that at the same time, just keep right on going, but that's,
Well, you can do not exceed now.
Yeah, I mean,
He did set the price, Joe. I told Daryl about it before the meeting, but just because we were short on time. He's farming right now, so he's really short on time. He'd go work until midnight after every day.
especially trying to get it in before the rain.
Yep.
But we should, we'll have another meeting a week and a half. I guess it's 2 weeks by definition. The next meeting will be the 7th. Do you think we'll be moving on this before May 7th?
He wants to. He would like to. It's going to depend on the weather a little bit, how he ends up, but, and if it has to wait, Daryl, we can, but it's,
Well, I mean, if we want to approve it at not to exceed $2,900,
That's for,
that would be for seeding, grading, seeding, mulching the levee from the east end of the park down to the wastewater treatment plant.
that's in addition to the 48?
yeah.
Yeah. 48 is just for the park.
So what are we voting on? Are we voting on a lump motion, or are we voting
The
on?
park has already
the point?
approved our portion.
You all need to vote on approving the parks part of it, and then the other part would be a separate.
So as noted, if you want to, we'll start with the parks part, because that's the one that's
So
really,
we're talking about
the 4,800.
who to approve the summer farm, to do the grade seed mulch, east end of the football field for 4,800.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now, from the east end of the park, the wastewater treatment plant, not to exceed 2,900.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, this will be good.
What about the?
Okay.
So, yeah, I have a question on that. So, was that the park board's decision to use Golden Rule?
Yes.
And what was the delay on this, on the lower bid?
Time.
I know, but what, how much?
He couldn't get to it until in the summer
Delay.
sometime.
Okay. And that was the only bid that we got, because we didn't get any more?
I got a verbal bid, but he never would turn in the proposal. I asked several times, so gave up.
I'm just trying to keep everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the Golden Rule proposal?
Sorry?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we have golf course and grass, or Brisbane. Next up, elected officials' comments.
Are we looking into, is the park board looking into fixing the pond down there that got dug out?
Wetlands.
Wetlands.
Wetlands,
Are we looking at fixing that?
eventually. I've got a full plate. I promise you.
Oh, we
I
need
work-
tobacco and somebody to run it. Didn't know what took of that. No, I'm just wondering, because I've had questions about that part of
Yep.
it.
And honestly, we can only do, a couple large things at one time. For one, we have to keep track of our spending, and we also have things that come up, but yeah, it's on the list. Last fall, I turned in a list of all the things that we would like to do, and it's extensive. It just takes time to do it all. Because every time I have to go out and get bids and look up the information and research and things like that, so this takes a lot of time. But it's on the list.
I guess we probably ought to look at the deck that goes down for the.
Yes, it needs to
We'll
come
make sure
down.
If and when that happens, we need to make sure that it's a safe place for people to walk around.
It needs to be
or if
torn
you're gonna-
down.
Or if you're gonna put another one in now, it'd be the time to put it in before you fill it back up.
Yeah.
True. Yep, that's on the list too. I mean, we did do the shelter house last year. And there is a scout working this weekend to redo the sign as you come into the treatment plant. So the wetland sign, it's getting redone, and we have someone doing some other repairs down there.
Which dovetails with my question. Joe, is the brush pile still open or being?
Yeah, well, that's a discussion we have to have too, because once we get those weed bids into that, brush pile's gonna have to go. And I mean, that means relocating it, but because we can't have that 5 million of those weed pits. It's gonna-
What about that marshy area over there that we don't use? Golf course isn't over there, right? That other lot.
Oh, that's gonna be, you're gonna have people get stuck back there.
Well, I'm thinking,
Coming off the end of the park.
Yeah,
I'm thinking if there's a way we can build the roads up there to where they won't work, where they can't, doesn't matter if it's marshy where you dump it. Anyway, I'm just thinking it'd be either that or, which I don't think north of the
But
park
that'd
would be a
be,
good.
so that's a big discussion we're gonna have in the future, because like I said.
Yeah,
Once we get
but-
this weed pits put in, because this will be in that whole field down there.
But it'd be nice
We
if
can't
the
do-
city
pile it.
had a place to dump even for emergencies.
I was thinking of that area up there where we put, when we do the city
Drop off.
drop-off day,
By the,
up there by the gate. But then the other question was, because we talked, at one of the meetings when the IT people were here, was about putting the reader on the gate or something where people would come down and get a passcode that was limited to 24 hours or whatever.
that'd be nice.
And that way we.
Oh, that would be
Because we get.
They said it was set up to do that.
Oh, we had, over the
Yeah.
weekend, we had somebody come in with a truckload of trash. So
Yeah, that would work. That would work, yeah.
We know we did.
I like that. I have a question too. Are you done with that one?
Sure.
So now that our Kyle's gone, what's the status as far as the help that we have using that asphalt trailer like we've been using it?
They're gonna go back in, like I said, we hired a guy today, so that gives the 2 guys for the water sewer street. And so I just talked to Dalton before I came in here, and he said next week he's gonna get that asphalt trailer back out and start patching it. And I told him tomorrow will be a good day, it's supposed to be rainy, he can drive around, get a list going up.
Okay, because
Yeah, we're gonna
if
keep
that
on.
gets,
It's not
yeah,
gonna go away.
if that starts getting put back,
Yeah, no.
then I think we need to think about.
That's why that's why I got to hire somebody yesterday, because we had to get another labor.
Because we've got a lot of streets to
Yeah.
fix.
Are we the ones that patched there by Casey's at the end of Johnson? Did we do that? Because there's asphalt in there now, not concrete.
I don't know if state did that, I know state was in doing some, I don't know if that was us or not.
But somebody did.
But we have a working
Yeah.
hot trailer, so we don't have to use coal patch.
No, we use co-patch, no more.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's hot. And they know that Dalton's been trained on it, so I said, he was here with Kyle, tried Dalton's gonna train the new guy
Good.
next week.
Are you doing public works too then, or is that gonna be?
Until I get somebody.
So could we get like a report on what's being repaired
Yeah.
by every meeting on the
Yeah,
streets?
I'll start doing that.
That'd be great, thank you.
The one other thing, I know that we had a citizen complaint, and I went back to look and discovered, I mean, I didn't see what their issue was, but I went back there to look at that Hazel area. But when I was back there on what would be, West Washington, where it turns back there by those duplexes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's kind of like a
Shore
shore
zone,
zone
what's
back
that called?
there. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's over.
it's more pothole than street, I think.
But that's, so I'm actually Dalton over, I said, Dalton, I told you tomorrow it'd be good,
Yeah.
they can go drive out and get a list going. Also with a new website, I got right on the front page, I got a tab, it's called Pothole Killer. And you click on it, and it's an online form that they can fill out to give the locations of potholes, and it emails it to me, and eventually it will email to the new superintendent public director when it gets going.
We got a go live date yet?
Huh?
We have a go live date yet?
Technically, it can go live today, but we're waiting on IT to do all the background, because we've changed it to everybody's email, it'll be .gov, and our website's gonna be .gov. That's all in the background, we gotta get all that going before we can get it go live. I talked to IT today, I said, all right, I said, this is number one priority, and I said, it's not an emergency, but I said, it's priority, we gotta get this going. because I said we get 3 months free, and then the rest of the time is paying for
Yeah.
it. He said he would, I said, when are we gonna get it done? He goes, I'll have a meeting tomorrow with all the guys, we'll sit down and give you a schedule. But technically, the site's ready to go, it's all loaded.
So we just have to wait for the domain change.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's all loaded, and I will tell you that I've been working all week. Like, so we got that exploring button map that's in there. I got all the local businesses on it, and what they do, gives a short description. Then I got all the members of the Chamber of Commerce is on the map. And then I added a feature which I think is gonna help out. I was looking at 2 ways. I added a feature called local attractions, because I figured if somebody's gonna come to Butler, maybe they can say, hey, look, what else is around that I can do? So if they make a day trip, they can plan it out. So I put in like, the photo say just simply, I put in like the Lexington Ballot Field, I put in some of the wineries that are close by, and there's one in Rayville, one in, Higginsville, in Rayville, this kind of, that way, not only for citizens that are new in town, but also for somebody to say, hey, I want to do a day trip, what's around Butler that I can do?
Good idea.
I guess kind of circle back. I would defer to somebody that has expertise in the area, but when I'm talking back there, I don't know that the guys are gonna be able to patch it.
Okay.
That maybe we need to get a price on what it would take to grind that and chip seal it or something. I don't
Okay.
I mean, it may be more than we wanna get into.
I can get a Phillips out there just to give us a price on it.
But I thought that with the high density housing back there.
You talk about like, it goes around and it goes chip road, chip by.
Yeah, go just past the funeral home,
Yeah.
and headed back west, and that curve, there's a duplexes, and the road is.
A lot of that was caused by cutting the roads and just settled everywhere they cut the roads for stores. I mean, it's like that because you can see where they cut the roads, but it never was passed.
And that's
around.
one area that we really haven't, we've done Ward 1 and Ward 2, or I guess Ward 1 and Ward 3 at the time, at least, we've done streets. I don't know that we've done anything in Ward 2.
Well, Park,
East Jefferson, there's no East Jefferson.
East Jefferson.
Park Street is partly Ward 2. It's Ward 1 and Ward 2. North of
I know we've
Park.
done north of 24. We haven't done really anything west of
Yeah.
Hudson.
But I got some complaints other than that one person on Hazel, so. But I just tried to bring it up, find out.
Alright.
I don't even know if they'd
So
be
you
able.
go down Hazel, when it turns back.
Where Hazel and Washington come together,
Okay.
basically going west on Washington.
I'll go look at it, I'll get, Phillips, I get Phillips. I'll get
Most of those
some-
roads back there are pretty thin.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if it's gonna be patchable, because it all runs into the.
That's why I said,
Yeah, that's why I think you might just have to grind it and chip seal it. I don't know that you'll be able to.
I'll look
Because
at
you probably have
it.
to go rebuild the.
I'll look at it, I can get Phillips out there, and just gives an estimate,
Okay.
a best what to do, hey, this is what I suggest.
Oh, and how does that chip seal hold up as far as in the ground, as far as driveways? Because they could use more stuff at the plant for laying down to.
So I can tell you, Holly Road, they chip sealed it about 5 or 6 years ago, and where it's good, I wouldn't know the difference than it and asphalt.
No,
Where
I'm
it's
talking
not,
about,
it's mud.
I miss grinding, the grinding.
Oh, okay, the
Yeah,
buildings, okay.
yeah. Do they work pretty good as far as holding up? Well, I mean, they could, rather than spending the money, you could dump it down there at the,
Yeah.
and then that, because right now they're parking some stuff in the mud, so,
it's gotta be better than mud.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They just bring a bunch of gravel down there too and clean up a lot some more. Looks a lot better down there.
It looks great,
It's unbelievably
it
different.
is. He's done a lot, I ain't seen so.
Well, if there's nothing else, Mary, thank you for your service. We appreciate your
Thank you, Mary.
time with us.
Thank you.
And if there's nothing else, we'll take a motion to adjourn.